This year's highly anticipated Royal Rumble event was a massive improvement over some of the atrocious booking we saw at the end of last year. Perhaps an exclamation point on proving the WWE is changing its way and listening to its fans, as we witnessed some shocking moments throughout the night. However, the show was far from perfect, and as always, here are some fails and mistakes you might have missed during the Royal Rumble. Number 1. Cameraman down. Even before the first match on the card could even kick off on the pre-show, we already witnessed a slip-up. Literally. The show kicked off with an unusual tag match which featured the team of Scott Dawson and Razor facing off against the reigning WWE Raw Tag Team Champions of Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. As the champions made their entrance to the ring, the cameraman positioned on the ramp had to walk backwards as the champions made their way into the ring. Walking backwards is always a bit of a hard task, and even harder when you've got all your attention on delivering a good shot. However, they are pros at this, so we won't excuse the cameraman for falling over. Now, falling over is one thing, but it was made worse as those who were working in the production truck didn't immediately switch to another camera, leaving us with the view of some random person's legs as he lay flat on the floor. Not only this, but following the match, the two members of the kickoff team, Charlie Caruso and JBL, went to give their post-match thoughts, but their microphones were completely muted. Obviously, those in the production truck needed to get their shit together, as we were in for a long night. Number 2. Wardrobe malfunction. This year's Royal Rumble main show began with the battle between Asuka and Becky Lynch for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This match was hard-hitting and physical to say the least, with each using all they could to get the upper hand, even using each other's signature submission. However, you may have noticed that during the match, the screen momentarily went black, as if WWE cut their transmission. When it returned, you could see Becky Lynch fixing her top. Many were reporting and speculating that this was the result of a wardrobe malfunction, leading to the production team temporarily leaving us with a black screen. Typical, the production team were on the ball with the camera flub, but in this case they were. Number 3. Mickie James kicks air. The second edition of the Women's Royal Rumble match went off to a great start, unless you're Liv Morgan that is, only lasting a mere few seconds before being dumped out unceremoniously. But other than that, we saw Mickie James make an attempt to destroy Mandy Rose's WrestleMania dreams, but it was a bit of a flop. In an attempt to eliminate Rose, Mickie James went for a spinning heel kick just near the ropes. The problem here, however, was that it landed nowhere near Rose, only managing to kick a bit of air. Number 4. Charlotte Flair forgets the spot. Another Women's Royal Rumble mishap occurred as Nia Jax seemed to contemplate whether to deliver a facebreaker strike to Becky Lynch. However, in reality, she held her fist there for an eternity, as both women waited desperately for Charlotte to jog her memory and remember the spot where she was supposed to interfere. Well, after around 7 seconds, Charlotte decided to deliver a kick to the back of Nia Jax. If you were still a fan that believed that professional wrestling was real, you might not anymore. Number 5. Wrong knee Becky. Earlier on the show, Lana was mistakenly attacked by her own husband Rusev, as Nakamura had some sneaky tricks up his sleeve. Well, in the final moments of the Women's Royal Rumble match, we saw a surprise entrant in Becky Lynch, as she would replace an injured Lana. During the Rumble match, a temporary partnership was seen, as the last kicker would be forced to work with the Queen in order to eliminate the irresistible force Nia Jax. Nia would attempt to attack Lynch, aggravating the injury in which she suffered earlier in the night from the SmackDown Live Women's Champion Asuka. However, Becky would hold her right knee following the incident, which was the wrong knee. It's likely that the referee informed her quietly that she was selling the wrong knee, as after the replay aired, Lynch started selling the other knee. Number 6. Various Rumble woes. The second edition of the Women's Rumble match was decent for the most part, with both an exciting and nerve-wracking finish. However, it featured a number of mistakes from various participants. They may seem petty to some, but they still deserve a mention. Initially, number 1 entrant Lacey Evans tried to mirror Natalya's kip-up, but completely failed. Following this was Xia Li's poor balance, as before delivering a sloppy Trouble in Paradise, she would attempt a backwards somersault, but ended up slipping right on her derriere. To finish things off, Alexa Bliss made her in-ring return, but proved to be a little rusty, getting tangled around Charlotte before both women fell on their chaps too. Number 7. Hall of Famer JBL? It was recently spotted by a fan that during a WWE Network advertisement for its Superstars programming in the early 90s, the caption underneath read, "Witness WWE Hall of Famers The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, and more." Now, we all know that The Undertaker is not a Hall of Famer just yet, but it seems that the graphics team have been losing sleep as of late, as you may have missed a repeat of this mistake during the Rumble. JBL, who hasn't been seen on commentary since his controversial stories of bullying Mauro Ranallo surfaced last year, reprised his role. Underneath his nameplate, WWE mentioned that he was a Hall of Famer. Could it be WWE just gave away one of their future Hall of Famer inductees for this year? But more importantly, should JBL go in? Number 8. Both of Kofi's feet touched the floor. Apart from the Rumble itself, it's become an annual tradition to see how and in what new ingenious way will Kofi be able to save himself from elimination this year. This Rumble featured not one, but 2 moments of luck and technique that saw Kofi save himself from elimination. The first saw Kofi being tossed over the top rope onto the floor, but managing to keep his legs up. However, if you look closely and play the clip slower, you'll see that both feet do indeed touch the floor before he's able to get one foot up. WWE's clever camera angles would have had you believe this is not the case. Now it's up for discussion, but we believe that both feet hit the floor and Kofi should have been eliminated right there. However, Kofi also made a mistake during his second save. Here, Kofi was accompanied by number 17 entrant Xavier Woods, and it seems that Kofi had the plan to land on Woods' back, but completely flopped on this occasion. Kingston, being the professional that he is, managed to leave one foot in the air and told Xavier to carry on with the spot. Though they had some struggles, this is one of the first big mistakes Kofi has ever made in the Rumble. Number 9. Men's Rumble Woes. Though it wasn't as good as many had expected, this year's Men's Royal Rumble was solid, but far from perfect. Though a dominant force, McIntyre seemed to have struggled as he attempted to eliminate both Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. This incident only saw Xavier drop out on time, with the delayed elimination of Kofi Kingston. Additionally, the Rumble match featured the special entrant of Johnny Gargano this year, the man who defeated Ricochet the previous night at NXT TakeOver Phoenix. His appearance also saw a sluggish tornado DDT that he attempted to deliver to Big E. Overall, he had a decent appearance, but he wasn't included in just one flub, but 2. Here, Samoa Joe made his way to the turnbuckle to attempt an elimination, but before he could, the man would slip on the very same towel in which he brought into the match himself. Well guys, those were 9 mistakes you might have missed last night. Did we miss out any? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.